So, when is a pumpkin not a pumpkin? Today I'm going to show you how to make a simple, beautiful piece of home decor that happens to be a pumpkin design that you can transform into 4 different uses. I'm going to show you how to make a pumpkin shape easily, and then I'll go on to show you how you can change it up to use it in different ways. Let's get started.
Right, you see, I've started by drawing out a circle. I started by drawing around a big plate, and then I made it the size I thought, which was 77 centimetres. Then that seemed a bit big, so I cut it down by 5 centimetres all the way around, and I'm just cutting it out now. Right, we've got our circle. This crushed velvet cost me $4.99 a metre. I bought just 1 metre from Amazon. Right, for the main body of the pumpkin, we're now going to be gathering it up. So you're going to want 4 strands of thread, unless you've got a really strong nylon thread that won't break. So I've doubled it so that I've got a loop of thread at the end. And we're going to do a running stitch all the way around now. I tend to do nice big stitches so that it gives you the effects of the ridges of the pumpkin. Right, just turned our pumpkin right way out. Time to stuff this now. And this is where your pumpkin can be not just a pumpkin, because it depends on the size and what you stuff it with as to what it is. You can turn this into something you can't buy in the stores. Anyway, let's get going with stuffing this one. I'm using polyester wadding. You could also use shredded fabric you no longer want. That's a good way of recycling. But of course, this is only suitable for indoors. Let's try gathering it up and see how much more stuffing I'm going to need. Now this is where, if your thread isn't tight, it can break. If thread isn't strong, it can break as you tighten it. We just need a little bit more stuffing in the middle. Right, now we need to gather this in and secure it. It doesn't need to fill that hole completely, because we're going to have a green top on it. Now, a few stitches to stop it slipping. Then we're going to start going back, thread the needle back through these just to be a bit more secure. Okay. Right, we're going to add some more stuffing, because once you've gathered it, you can see where it's kind of missing the stuffing a bit. But be careful not to break your stitching, so kind of poke it in into the places you need it. You see the way the gathering forms a natural kind of pleats in the pumpkin. Now I've stuffed it quite firm. You can see I've got quite a void in the middle there. So I need to put some more in. That's what we've got so far. But now we're going to get on with doing the top. We can add a bit more stuffing as we go. We'll need some stuffing for the top, and I'll show you what that's going to look like.
Now you're probably wondering what on earth I'm doing here. I'm drawing a freehand spiral as a template for a tendril for the top of the pumpkin. And we're going to need to cut 2 pieces. So we pin the template in place, placing the pins only in the solid area that is going to be your spiral. The rest of it then you're going to cut out from around it. I'll just trim up any like raggedy edges on it because these scissors aren't the best. We've got the 2 layers there, and I recommend leaving your paper template in place on it to hold it to the shape until you're ready to use it, because it can be quite fiddly trying to find which way up it goes if you're not taking it directly off the template. And on to drawing the final piece that makes up the top of the pumpkin.
I'm going to cut 4 of these.
And they'll be stitched together at the side seams.
You want to cut this with the grain of the fabric. So where you see the lines running up, you don't want it kind of like that, because the material's then gonna crease and not look quite right when you're trying to make it sit in position. Let's pin these together on the side seams. Right sides in. It's the wrong way around, but let's give you an idea. Let's get it sewn together and you can see what it looks like properly. The right way out, of course, and how this is involved. Right,
That's the main cap of the pumpkin. Now for the tendril.
right, now I need to stitch this spiral. Let's just take the pattern off it. And I'm going to stitch it right sides together. A very narrow seam, because we're going to need to turn this inside out. Right, now I've stitched this one side, but I want to leave a little opening so that we can stuff this. So I've left a small amount there in the middle. Then I'll carry on stitching. That will be hand stitched closed after. Let's see now. That looks fine. Now we need to turn it the right way out. So we need to get a little hair clip to just thread through, or a little safety pin. I'll try a safety pin and thread it through to turn it inside out. Okay. Just fasten the pin to the end on one side of the fabric, and then we thread it through all the way through, past the gap. Oh, I've sewn the end, hold on. I'm going to open up a little bit of the stitching at this end, just so that I can pass the pin through here, rather than take it right to the end, because I like that. I want to keep that nice little point on the end. I can use these little openings to just add the stuffing in, because it can be quite difficult to stuff this narrow channel. We're almost done now. You've just got to be careful not to snatch and break your stitching. Just ease it through. Right. Then we'll turn this bit through. Then we'll stuff it. Right, I'm just pushing the stuffing down into this channel now with my scissors. You could use a knitting needle, but these I think will be adequate. Right, let's check what this looks like now it's all stitched, and how the other piece fits into it. I've left a little gap in the stitching at the top. Okay, and then this is the tendril, which we just need to fit in through the gap and stitch it in place. There, like that. I'm going to hand stitch it in place because with the padding it's too thick for the machine. Stitch that in place, then that falls nicely on the cushion. Right, I'm just doing a little running stitch around the top of the stalk and then gather it up and tuck it in to neaten it. I've gathered this all the way around and tucked the ends in, and now I'm just going to take the cotton through to the inside to finish it off, and we're going to stuff this this stalk. We can add more stuffing under this green cap if we need to, but right now I'm just anchoring this green cap at each seam onto the main orange bit of the pumpkin to stabilise that stalk and anchor it down. And then I'm going to hand sew all this on, tucking it under as we go. This adds a lovely little dimension. You could choose to stitch it down, but I prefer to leave it free. Right, it's just a case of stitching this edge down now invisibly with a little slip stitch. So that's it. My decorative pumpkin is complete. So what about the alternatives I promised you? Well, let's whiz back in time to where I started stuffing this, because that's where our alternative options begin. And this is where your pumpkin can be not just a pumpkin. It could be a doorstop. A doorstop, you would want to weigh it down a bit. So in the bottom, you would add a bag of pebbles or sand well fastened, and then your stuffing on top. Everything else could be exactly the same. Of course, it would be spongeable rather than washable. You could choose to do as I did here, a fabric stalk, and to wrap thread around to denote the segments. And for an outdoor pumpkin, the stuffing is completely different. You would stuff this. First off, you would put a bag of pebbles in the bottom to weigh it down. And then you top it up with plastic bags. That means it's going to be very easy to dry if it does get wet. And the weight of the pebbles or gravel will mean it won't move out of position easily. If you kept the tendril, you'd need to stuff that with plastic or leave it without stuffing. But you could choose to do, as this pumpkin has, a plastic stalk, which you can buy online and they just glue in place. Or you could choose to push a branch into the middle, or a stake of wood, and glue that in place. This one is filled with recycled polystyrene beads, but I wouldn't recommend it because it blows about in the wind outside. And my last item is this super squishy, oversized cushion. It's a comfy cushion, it's a footstool, it's just fabulous, and I guarantee you won't find anything anywhere near as good as this in store, and all you have to do is change the size. This has been the first in my autumn decor series for this year, and I hope you might have a go at making a cushion or just a beautiful, fabulous, decadent velvet piece of decor that you can bring out year after year, or a doorstop, a weighted doorstop, or a pumpkin that will withstand the elements outside. My next one, the next in my series, is going to be a twig arch for outside, not a suspended arch, a freestanding arch. I've not attempted it before, but you'll have to come back and see how that turns out. See you soon.